So to start out the call here, I wanted to go over like a high level and say, and hi everybody on Instagram there. I see you. So um, I do have some slides here that I'll share later on. If you want to message me, I can get those to you. But basically what we're talking about is what am I going to learn here on this 1 hour, approximately an hour, maybe a little bit less than that training. So what are you going to learn? What are you going to get out of it? Uh, Basically, my objectives for this here is to help you understand that why now is like a perfect time to start a business, right? To give you, and I say an unbiased business model review, but as close as possible, anyways, right? Obviously, I've gone down this path, so I have some opinions on it, but what you should consider, what I recommend you consider if you're evaluating business opportunities, the different sort of models and stuff like that, right? What my choices and recommendations are, and if I was in your shoes, if you're looking at some sort of a, additional revenue stream or something like that, kind of what I would recommend, right? And then I'm big on resources, making sure that, if you give me your time, that I'm going to make sure that you walk away with something of value. Okay. So why is now like the perfect time to start a business, right? And I thought about this a little bit, and really, if you think about it, the economy, is kind of at a high point right now, right? Was it like 2008 that we had the last big recession, right? So we know that it's at a peak. So, now's a good time to prepare, right? And, to create something that you can have another revenue stream for. If you look at like 401k or, stock market or anything like that, right? We know that can be pretty volatile, right? And depending on, as you start to get older and stuff like that, where you end up in your retirement or whatever, that could be thousands of dollars depending on where you're at, if not hundreds of thousands, right? So I feel that it's important to make sure that you have some other sort of stream that you can rely on. We know that like Social Security, right? They said that that's probably not going to be there by the time that, it's time for us to retire and stuff like that. So, but before we get into this here, I wanted to give you a little bit of background of who I am here. I'm a husband and I'm a cat dad. We live in Colorado, outside of Denver. We're natives, been here forever. So actually have quite a blizzard going on right now. So not as bad as last time though. I lost, over a period of years, I've lost 40 pounds. Took myself off of blood pressure medicine, right? I found something that really, really works for me, that I really love and that I'm able to stick around with and stay consistent with. So I'm a IT geek, as I call it by day. I've been an IT professional in the IT field for about 20 years. And then in the evenings, I work part-time, building our wealth at night. So that's kind of the thing that I'm doing right here. So I'm a lifelong entrepreneur. I'm the company that I'm affiliated with, Beachbody. I'm an Emerald affiliate since 2015. And then I've helped dozens and dozens of people achieve their goals in health and fitness and getting started off the ground and getting their business going. So, side note, back on the lifelong entrepreneur, and I thought about this a little bit and kind of like, where that bug kind of came from, if you will, right? And maybe you have some similar stories that's relatable. So I thought I would share some of that with you. I remember, I thought back to this. I remember when I was a child, probably, I don't know, 6 or 7 or something like that, right? And my parents, they would go to kind of like the craft shows and stuff during like the holiday seasons and stuff like that, right? And they had these like framed pictures on aluminum and stuff like that, right? And they would they made a deal with me and said, I think it was like $1 or maybe something, you know, less than that at that time or whatever. But you know, at that point, he's, you know, kind of a shy little kid, you know, he's introverted and all that sort of stuff, right? And definitely wasn't like, you know, outgoing or anything like that. But you know, I figured it out, and then like at the end of that weekend, you know, at that time, you know, a number of years ago, I'd walk away at the weekend like $30 right in my pocket, and then I would squirrel that away, right, and put it into savings and stuff like that. So I was thinking about it, and I kind of think that's where it first all started, right? And then I also remember like when I got to junior high, right, I don't remember exactly how it came about, but I came up with this idea of like, I wonder if I could get together some money and stuff like that, right? And then go to Costco or whatever, right? And buy like a big thing of like bubble gum or something like that, right? And get like the best that I could. And so, you know, I did that, and then I would turn around, I calculated out the cost per unit, and then I went on ahead and sold those out of my locker, right? And you know, and actually made pretty good money at it, right? You know, I'd mark it up like 100%, and then I would turn around and do it again, right? So I think that's, you know, kind of where that ground has come from. I've also operated Shopify stores before. You know, I've looked at Etsy, some of the other ones. So on to kind of the meat of the call here. So looking at business models, right? And again, I have the slides here, so I'll share those with anybody on Instagram that's watching that might be interested in them. So, but if we look at the kind of the business models, right, we have a lot of options and a lot of opportunity in this economy. I think really, like, honestly, more than ever before. It's pretty amazing, in my opinion. So, but if we look at kind of your different models, right? So first we have like a franchise, right, and things to consider. I'm not going to use you know, pros, cons, or anything like that, because I think that really every single model has its considerations, right? I think that they all have merit. I think that they're all great, right? It's just a matter of what is it that's going to work for you? What is great for you, right? So the first, if we look at a franchise, so considerations around that, it's a proven system, right, that you're purchasing. Another consideration is your cost of entry, right? If you look at like a Subway or anything like that, right? Your minimum cost of entry is going to be like $100,000 and up, right? And then you have employees, you have location, right? The other thing that I didn't put on here was it's pretty much at that point, it's like your full-time job, right? You have to have enough time to dedicate to a system like that, right? And to ramp up and do all of those things. So that's franchise. Similar to that, kind of you have your brick and mortar, right? So considerations for that, it's kind of your traditional kind of business, maybe like, you know, if you think of like a yoga studio or something like that, right? Some considerations around that, right? You have a storefront, so you have cost. You might have some employees and stuff like that you have to deal with. You're pretty much building your operating systems or how you do business, right, from the ground up. There's no necessarily like a manual for that. And then, you know, you got to consider your location, make sure that you have good foot traffic, that sort of stuff. Hours, right? Again, kind of, you know, whatever your store hours, right? You're probably going to be there. And then the upfront investment, right? What is that barrier to entry? Again, it's probably going to be pretty high with a brick and mortar, right? The next that I have is kind of your Shopify store, Etsy, print on demand, Amazon, right? You can run like an Amazon storefront. Considerations around those. And again, like I said, I've gone down the path of Shopify before. So you have to consider like your inventory. You know, are you going to hold inventory, right? I think that in order to get good margins, eventually you probably will end up holding some inventory. You have ad spend for like Facebook or Google AdWords, right? Whatever sort of online advertising that you end up doing with that. And kind of what I discovered as I started going down this path actually was that as you start to calculate things out is that after ad spend and all these other things is that your margins end up being pretty slim. So you can end up start off with a pretty healthy margin and you mark it up and you can still probably sell decently with whatever the market dictates. But by the time you get done with all your expenses and everything, your margins are probably down to $1 or $2 per order. So it really ends up being on about customer retention and what orders they place after that, right? So I'll keep going on. I could probably go on more on that, but the next one that I have on the list here is consultants and services. And I have quite a bit of experience with this area as well. My wife actually is an entrepreneur as well in services industry. So, and again, you have location, right? Time requirements, the client demands that you have to meet, relationships, again, employees, most likely something along those lines, right? As you start to expand, right? And then the last one that I have here, and I kind of lumped these ones all together, is online marketing. And so that's kind of your blogger, any sort of influencer like Instagram influencing, right? Affiliate marketing, network marketing, all those sort of things. I put those into one category. Some of the considerations there, you're location independent, right? So you're not tied down to a storefront or anything like that. Generally, you're going to have pretty low startup costs. Your barrier to entry is going to be pretty reasonable, especially when you compare to all these other models. You're going to have to develop probably quite a few different skills and stuff, different technical set of skills, possibly some leadership, your schedule, how you manage your schedule, mindset, all that sort of stuff. Is it duplicatable, right? All these are, dependent on like your relationships and stuff like that. Really any of these models, right? I think really start to rely on sort of relationships and stuff. But some of the other considerations, there's no inventory and you can have a pretty healthy margin. So if you're doing like affiliate marketing, you don't generally aren't going to have any inventory or stuff like that. And you're going to have a pretty good margin, right? You might have some ad costs and stuff like that to consider. But so as I look through all of these different models and these different business models and stuff, some of the things that I thought about for me personally was that helped me make the choice was number one was that it had to be location independence, right? So it had to be virtual. I don't want to be tied down to a storefront or a particular location or an office or anything like that. Number two is I have to be able to own my schedule, right? So I work full time, and so I need to be able to name my hours, right? I need to be able to work it, at night like I'm doing here. So, and then no employees or demanding clients, right? As I started looking at some like the consulting and stuff like that, that was another concern of mine, right? I want to be able to choose who I'm going to be working with. I didn't want to have any like inventory or anything like that. I didn't want to have to deal with shipping products and returning products and, dealing with, foreign suppliers or anything like that, right? I needed to be able to have some sort of duplication system, right? So that I could teach other people how to operate a business as well, right? And have some systems and trainings, right? I need to be able to leverage virtual assistants. So as the business starts to scale and grow, I need to be able to offload some of my work to a virtual assistant. And then it had to be reasonable upfront cost, low cost of entry to start. And then last and really most important to me is that it had to be legal and it had to align with my ethics and my moral values, right? I'm not going to compromise any of that just to make $1. So, excuse me. So those were, kind of the list of laundry list here of considerations and things that, as I looked at business models, that I had to meet there. And then I include some resources on the slide here. So if you on Instagram there, if you want them, just message me. I can get those to you. But one of them is Upwork.com. So if you're not familiar with that site, when I talked about virtual assistants, you can go out there and very reasonably, hire things like website designers or logos, or if you need somebody to even write blog articles or any sort of stuff like that, you can actually hire people to do that, or editing. There's a whole laundry list of different resources there. So that's a great site. I really love that. And then another one is a book called The 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss. A lot of these things here that I mentioned actually come from that book. So as I started thinking about what I want my business to really be, that's how I came about some of these items. So I really recommend that. It's a really good read. So that brings me to my choice, right? So as I consider that and look through the different models and stuff like that, I chose the last one, and that's online marketing. And so, but as I started to think about that, a number of years ago, I was like, but what about like products, what can I sell, stuff like that, right? And I put a little tip here for you that the secret is that you don't sell. What you do, what I would recommend is you find a company that has a product that you love, right? Find a good company that's reputable, right? Something that you could actually stake your reputation on and that you don't have any problems standing behind them, right? And recommending their products. So that brings me to who I affiliated with. So that enters Beachbody, right? So, back on that slide there where I mentioned that I lost 40 pounds and, was able to get off blood pressure medicine and all the prescriptions and all that sort of, stuff, right? And it's because of this company called Beachbody. And so if you're not familiar with them, maybe you remember back, I don't know, I guess it's probably been 10 years or so, maybe a little bit more, like the infomercial with like P90X, and you're probably seeing Insanity, right? Some of the like PIO, there's a whole list of different programs that they have. So, but they started as a company that was started in '98. It started off as a infomercial company, selling DVDs, right? Kits on like workouts and stuff like that. Like, I don't know, the P90X one, it really looked like it was up my alley. So I was like, I'll order it, I'll try it, why not? It actually got really good results, and then went on to Insanity and just grew from there. So they, in 2007, the company founded what they call Team Beachbody, which is basically their affiliate program, if you will. So then that way it gives an opportunity for customers that have, that love their products and stuff to share their results and to actually make a business out of it. So, but what is it that I think that makes Beachbody unique to really any sort of other affiliate program out there or anything like that, right? Excuse me here. So they have these pillars, and so we have fitness, kind of the nutrition part of it, peer support, rewards, right? And then there's one that I think that should probably be in here as well, is that's, an opportunity to work on your wealth, as as your schedule allows, as you have time to fit that into your life, right? And really, the opportunity is endless to do, take it, as far as you want. So again, so world-class fitness, right? I had mentioned like the DVDs and stuff like that. That's they still have them, but I mean that's pretty much gone now. Everybody does the streaming on demand workouts. So if you have like an Apple TV, you have a Fire TV stick, Chromecast, any of those sort of things, right? You can also stream it through your computer, right? So, and that gives you the entire catalog of all their workouts. It's actually pretty incredible. So this is for like when I work out like every morning pretty much, and this is mostly what I use. So, and then next, they also have world-class nutrition. So that's one of the other pillars that I talked about. So they have these different like portion control products, right, that help with your fitness. They have a performance line that's actually certified by an independent third-party lab for quality, high quality ingredients and stuff like that. And the next slide here. So still on the nutrition piece of it here, their flagship product is called Shakeology. It's a meal replacement. And I drink this every single day. And really, one of the things that I really love about it, and it's one of the reasons that I continue to stand by this company, and I will for the foreseeable future, that I've been around the supplement, nutrition industry for a while, and I've tried different products and stuff like that. And to be honestly, none of them have the standards of quality that I see with Beachbody. Their internal quality control is second to none, right? In an industry where quality, quite frankly, can be a real issue, right? The FDA doesn't manage supplements or have requirements around them. Just a couple of weeks ago, we had a corporate call on Shakeology. It's like the 10-year anniversary. And what I thought was really interesting and really fascinating was that it's not a static formula. So they're constantly looking at their suppliers and making sure that they maintain the quality, that it's the best quality possible of the ingredients and stuff like that. And if the quality starts to degrade and go down past what their measurements are, then they don't have any problem with pulling that ingredient, and they will do research and swap it out for something else. So it's a living formula. And they just recently pulled out some different things and substituted with some various maitake mushrooms and stuff like that, right? So they're always changing it up. So the next thing is peer support, right? And so in those other business models, as you start to look at those, a lot of times, unless it's like a franchise, kind of on your own, right? And the peer support that I've seen and with this company is second to none. Like I've never seen anything like it. The slide that I have here, you can see me. This is the personal trainer. His name is Joel. That I had the opportunity to meet beginning of the year, and it's a fantastic program. I really enjoy it. It really works great with the schedule and stuff like that if you have limited schedules. So, and then the other slides here, these are just some of our business partners that I get to work with, right? And we have 6-7-figure earners, a lot of them in these slides here. So and it's pretty incredible. And, you know, I can reach out to any of these people and they will help you. So rewards. So the next slide here, so we have rewards. There's, you know, in addition to the commissions, you get your product discounts, bonuses for growing your business, right? There's leadership trips, recognition, a lot of personal development and learning, right? So different skills and stuff like that help you with all of that stuff. You also have trips and stuff. Proven results, right? So if you do any searching on the internet, you'll see there's results all over the place. And then here's my most recent results, right? And so using the Lift 4 program, I've been pretty happy with these results. You can see if you scroll through my Instagram, you'll see my results from a number of years ago as well, you know, on my social media. So why should you become a Beachbody affiliate, right? We're ending trends. So trend of obesity, trend of, you know, living paycheck to paycheck, right? Having more month than money, right? So, and we're creating a reliable source of income that, you know, regardless of the economy or anything like that, or like your 401, you have another option, right? It gives you that safety net, right? So why partner with Beachbody as an affiliate? They're part of the Better Business Bureau. They have an A rating, billion-dollar company that's totally debt-free. They're not going anywhere. #1 infomercial in America. You know, they take care of the advertising and stuff like that, so you're fully supported there. And then additionally, become affiliate, right? They'll pay you commissions and stuff like that for customers. You have a personalized website, so all your links are taken care of and all that stuff. They take care of all the product orders, the shipping, customer service. You don't have to deal with any of the returns, nothing like that. It's available in multiple languages, English, Spanish, French. We're in multiple countries, so US, Canada, the UK. There's going to be this July, there'll be a 4th country that'll be announced. So that'll be exciting, right? It's a completely new territory, so that's great. So, and then what kind of training resources, right? So if you go this route, we have training websites. There's actually a few really good resources and different training websites. There's a step-by-step process with tools that you can use. It's all laid out, right? So we talked about systems. Those systems are all laid out and ready for you. Communication, there's a weekly corporate training that you can tune into. There's team calls that we host every single Wednesday. And there's also team websites. Social media, we have Facebook support groups and stuff. So if you have questions, you can go out there. And then webinars, right? So I can help teach you how to put together webinars like this and like your social media and all that stuff. There's leadership training, there's accountability. But how do I earn an income, right? So that's kind of what the whole point is right here. So as we look at that, there's actually 4 different ways that you can earn income with affiliating with Beachbody. So for retail products that you sell, you get a 25% commission. For subscriptions for the online streaming, you get a 40% commission. And then another way to earn is that as you start to build your business and other business partners start to join you and you start to teach them a replicatable system, right? You earn a commission off of that. So depending on where you're at in your business, anywhere from $14 to $18 for approximately every $300 that they sell. So You also get a 10% matching bonus on top of that. And then fourthly, depending on where you're at, you can also get profit shares, basically. So kind of like your traditional, business model if you have stock shares, right? So as you start to look at this, how much exactly can you earn, right? And so we have on the slide here, there's a chart. So depending on where you're at within your business, there's average earnings anywhere from about $500 anywhere up to 110,000. It's kind of the average, right? And then on the high end, anywhere from 18,000 to 3.5 million. So, and again, it's really, disclaimer here. So, Beachbody does not guarantee any level of success or income from Team Beachbody Opportunity. Each coach income depends on his or her own effort, diligence, and skills, right? So obviously you got to put in work. It's not just, money just doesn't grow on the trees or anything like that, right? You have to build your skills and figure out, how you want your business to operate. So on the slide here, I have one of my business partners, Scotty. He's on a different call this evening, but so this is kind of his earnings, right? So, 9 months in, and I won't go into his story too much because that's his story to tell, but 9 months in, about $800 or so, and then 3 years in, and this is weekly, to 15K per week. So that tells you kind of what's actually plausible when you actually dial in and get serious about it. So we talked a little bit about investment, right? So what does that look like? What is the barrier to entry, right? So we talked about franchising and stuff like that. We know that that's, 6 figures just to get started, right? So looking at like a SBA loan or something like that, a small business association loan. Maybe you could go through like a bank or something like that, right? But for Beachbody, and this is one of the things that I really loved, was that it's double-edged sword, right? So the cost to entry is very, very low. And the double-edged sword of it, though, is that because of that low barrier to entry, you really have to be diligent in treating it like you invested 6 figures into it, right? That you have, a loan out there of $100,000 or whatever that you have to pay back. So you're going to treat that a little bit different than the $40 sign-up fee that it is for Beachbody, right? And, we saw the scale, like this guy's pretty much the limit, right? So you have to treat it like a 6 or 7 figure business, right? If that's what you're looking to do, or, if you're wanting to maybe earn an extra $1,000 a month, then, treat it accordingly, right? And I fully believe that if you do that, you'll make something out of it. So, and then, so $40 sign up fee, $15.95 business service fee. So that pays for like all of the product handling and all that stuff, and the returns and all that, your website setup, all that sort of stuff. If you're military, either active or veteran, the sign-up fee and the monthly fee is waived. So essentially there's no cost if you're military. And also if you order what they call a challenge pack, so basically it's just a bundle, right? So you have like Shakeology or your performance supplements, and then the on-demand subscription. So then they waive that $40 fee. You don't have to pay that. And then if you're a previous Beachbody customer and you've ordered a challenge pack, a combination, right, or a kit, as my wife likes to call it, that $40 fee is totally waived. So our next slide here. So how do you get started, right? So we have a few options kind of that we talked about, right? So if you get started as a business partner, affiliate, or what they call a coach. I prefer the term affiliate or a business partner because that's really what we're talking about. As a little side note, you saw my results there. Don't think that you have to be in tip-top health or anything like that, or like shape, right? You just have to be down the path and on your own journey, right? And people will be inspired by that. They'll see that and they'll want to do what you're doing as they see your progress, right? So anyways, back on this. So business partner, $40 one-time fee. You could save 25% all of your future orders. You earn money for any of your referrals, and then it gives you the ability to build a team, host calls like I'm doing here, right? Or you can join as a customer, right? Maybe you just want to start down your own fitness path and you need some support and some accountability, right? And I can help with that too. So you have your challenge packs, right? There's no saving for like future orders and stuff like that, no commissions. So it really does, when you start to thinking about it, even I kind of think of it like a Costco membership, right? So even if you say, I'm not really ready to like build a business or anything, but it would like a discount. So that's another consideration too, right? So the next slide here, how to get started as a business partner. So I have a form on my bio. I can also send you the direct link to it as well. Fill out that form, that questionnaire, and then we can schedule a call to talk about your vision and your goals, right? And see if there's an opportunity, if it lines up. I'm pretty low pressure, so I just kind of lay everything out, and I really believe that it's important to consider and figure out exactly what's right for you. If there's an opportunity to work together, that's great, and if there's not, that's fine too. So, but if we decide that it's a good fit, right, and we want to work together, that I'll build you out a shopping cart, send that to you, and then once you're signed up, we'll get on the phone again, like a Zoom call like this, one-on-one, and we'll talk about your goals and how to get started, and we'll go through all the training materials and all that sort of stuff, and kind of what are the first steps, right, to get started the right way with your business. So, and then going forward, you get a 25% discount on all of your future orders as well. So what is your investment? Normally, if you were to buy everything separate, so if you're able to do the on-demand, and if you did like the flagship product, there's a whole bunch of different options. But so this one's just kind of a basic. It gives you a 30-day servings of Shakeology. You can also do some of the portion controls programs and stuff like that. Really get a feel for like what it's about. So separately, it's $235, but when you bundle it together, it's $160. I think there might be some other options too that we can discuss as well. So again here, so just talks about the different prices and stuff depending on your countries that you're in. So you can kind of see here that your on-demand alone would be $100 basically, US. And then, if you were to combine everything, Shakeology would be $128 alone. So it really makes sense to combine them, and you get discounted for $160. So as you start to look at the business model here, so the question to kind of ask yourself is, what can becoming a coach do for you, right? Even if you were to say earn, couple extra $100 a month, how is that going to change your life, right? Or $1,000 even. Think about who you might be able to help, right? I know for me personally, I've been able to help family members, right? And kind of along their health journey, the loved ones and the people that you care most about, right? Is as they start to see you changing behaviors and stuff like that, you really start to influence people. I talked about like all of the the reading and the skills and the mindset and all that sort of stuff, right? That really starts to permeate into your other relationships, and you start to influence the way people think, which is pretty cool. And then consider, what are your goals? What are your dreams, right? What is your vision, your objectives, right? And that's where I can help with that, and kind of create, what is your 1 year plan, your 3 year plan? What do you want from your life in like 5 years, right? So that's pretty much the end of the slide deck here. So, we kind of had some options here. This one, I borrowed this. So, you can either just join for like a discount. If you want to do like a hobby, what they call hobby, I guess, earn, a couple $100 a month, something like that. Or if you want to go all in and be a business builder, right, and really do something significant and impact the lives of many, many, many people, either directly or indirectly, right? So that's what I had. Catherine, did you have any questions?
Sorry, I had to take it off mute. My dogs are being crazy. I've actually never had Shakeology before.
Uh-huh.
I'm like a pretty avid protein consumer, but
Uh-huh.
I really don't like protein shakes. The consistency is really gross to me.
Yeah, no, I
Um,
hear you.
what are your feelings on Shakeology compared to like normal other protein drinks?
I think part of it has to do with, kind of the consistency, right, that you prefer, right? I've had a lot of them that are kind of like, it's almost like, and I'm not talking about Shakeology, but it's kind of like drinking cake batter, you know?
That's what's gross to me about it. I'm like, no, thank you. That's disgusting.
Yeah, no, I hear you. There's the other thing that I think is like kind of the texture, right? So, I think their texture is decent. To be honest, there's one that's like a vanilla flavor that I don't particularly care for, to be honest. But they have one that is which other thing that I didn't mention, there's actually a vegan option as well. So, like my wife, she's lactose intolerant. So we go with the vegan option, and she really loves that. And she's not a protein drinker or anything like that either. But she'll usually mix it up, blend it with like strawberries or like a banana, something like that, right? So those are options. And they have enough flavors, I think, right, to where like if you end up with like flavor fatigue and stuff like that, that I haven't had to worry about it. But everybody's a little different, so until you try it for yourself, that's kind of the only way to really tell, right?
Yeah, I guess my other question is, I mean, you kind of see me on like social media and stuff. I would say like I'm more of an endurance athlete than necessarily like going to the gym and um, doing like a 30 minute to 1 hour workout. What do you think? Like, are there a lot of endurance athletes that are involved in this program?
Um, I would say there's probably a good portion, right? I don't have any statistics or anything like that, but I do know that, um, there's a number of, marathon runners, right, that also do this for, say, like their strength training piece of it, right? Or for like me, there's a whole section on yoga that I really love. So like on the off days, the program that I'm doing right now is weight training mixed in with HIIT cardio, right? So and they're all, you know 30 minutes ish, right? Kind of a workout. And then they followed up with like a core piece of it to finish that off. And then so that's 4 days a week. And then I'll do like a yoga, like a couple times along with that. So that's kind of the way mine looks. The nice part is like, there's the whole catalog. So you can really change it up, do whatever you choose to with it. Right.